Good morning, and thank you so much for being with us on UBC TV this cold morning. I must say, in the 5 divisions of Kampala, it rained cats and dogs, and still it is not over yet. So I don't know where you are and what the situation is, but all we thank the Lord, because most of us depend on rainfall-fed agriculture. Now when it's raining, there is joy that the farmers will be planting in their gardens, and we shall have food in plenty, the Pearl of Africa. Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono welcoming you to the extra and extension of Good Morning Uganda. But we've been together from 6:30 till now. In case you've just joined, well, here I usually have a guest or guests with whom we discuss issues of national concern. Now this morning we are going to be discussing the 9th Water and Environment Week. We've had this, and this is the 9th edition. And I have guests with me in studios. I have Gwendolyn Choburungi, who happens to be the coordinator, Water Resources Institute, Ministry of Water and Environment. You're most welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, moderator.
And at the extreme end, I have Rotarian Teddy Nabakoza Galiwango. She is the Principal Environment Officer, the Kingdom of Uganda. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you.
Now, this being the Women's Month, I have ladies, and of course we are talking about the Water Week. And allow me to begin with an official from the Ministry of Water and Environment. Now, when we talk about the 9th Water and Environment Week, for a person hearing this for the first time, give us a background to this.
Thank you, moderator. Thank you, viewers. The Uganda Water and Environment Week, as you have said, we are celebrating the 9th one. The first one was held in 2018, and this Uganda Water and Environment Week is held annually and has come out to be an advocacy, a platform for discussions, a platform for dialoguing, a platform for creation awareness, environmental restoration. And since then, we've been having about 7 regional activities. We have so far had 7 walks, because the first walk, for the first time we didn't walk, but after the second one, which was 2019, we started walking, we started having the regional activities. And these ones are, as I'm talking now, they're ongoing. The walk is almost completing. They are going to be completing tomorrow after traversing 560 kilometers all the way from Moloto to Kampala. The regional activity started on the 1st of this March, and they are ongoing in the 6 concentrated structures of the Ministry of Water and Environment. The Uganda Water and Environment Week brings together partners, brings together stakeholders, brings together private sector, academia, and so many stakeholders that do align with the water and environment sector. And these ones, we have paper presentations, we have dialogues, we have exhibitions, we have got marathons, we have cleanup exercises. There are several activities that are done prior to the national event, where the national event comes in as a conference style, where people present opening ceremony, present keynote speakers about the theme and the sub-themes. And each year it has got its theme that is mainly aligned to the issues within the national level, and issues at regional level, issues at the global level that impact on the water and environment sector. Thank you.
Now, having given us that background, allow me go to Muchara Galiwango. Now, when we talk about this week, where does Uganda Kingdom come in?
Okay. The Kingdom of Uganda has an MOU. We have an official partnership with the Ministry of Water and Environment. And in that same way, we always collaborate in different activities, different programs, different projects. And Uganda Water and Environment Week is one of them. Annually, we have always worked together with them, because this is a national event. However, we need more impact on the ground. And the Kingdom of Uganda does that. This year, we are falling into the theme that concentrates on the capacity and strength of children, youth, and women in conserving or sustainable use of water resources. And in this way, we are going to have the Uganda Water Day. It's going to be held in Bujumba, that is Kalangala district of Sese Islands, on the 31st of March 2026.
So under this collaboration with the Memorandum of Understanding, what do you think prompted the kingdom to be part of this? Because, you know, usually people see water as a God-given thing. Why would Uganda Kingdom be interested to partner so much with the ministry, which is government, and have a memorandum of understanding?
Yes, issues to do with conserving natural resources, water as well. It's a collective effort. You cannot work in silos, you can't stand alone, because the government, they are the policy makers, they are the regulators, and the Kingdom of Uganda, we are the people. This is where projects are implemented. These are the grassroots people that directly benefit from the water resources, and when there is an issue or problem with the water resources, the impacts affect the people directly. So we decided to work together because we have different strengths when it comes to collaboration, and then collectively we realize one goal, and that is to sustainably use our natural resources.
Now, coming back to you, when we talk about this 9th edition of the Water and Environment Week, we've had previous ones. What is there to celebrate or to take home of the previous Water and Environment Weeks?
So I would just thank you, moderator. We are looking at the impact of the Water and Environment Week, the achievements that the Water and Environment Week has created among the stakeholders, among the sector implementers. I would say since 2018, we've seen growth in partnership. Yeah, you see one of the partners here with me, Uganda Kingdom. Without that Water and Environment Week, where people will be aware, or created awareness, where people will come into board to discuss issues of water and environment and climate change, maybe these partners would not have come by. So far, we've had about 60 partners that came in to be working with Minister of Water and Environment, to support Minister of Water and Environment, to partner with Minister of Water and Environment, to see how they can manage, utilize, and also develop the water and environment resources for the people of Uganda. We've seen people coming in presenting their papers. We say during the Uganda Water and Environment Week, we have papers being presented from researchers, from practice, from policy, and we've seen about 500 plus papers being presented, and these papers come in to inform the policy, come in to inform the implementers, come in to inform the users of the resources, that's environment and water resources, and this way we are able to do a scientific informed decisions. We've had dialogues, the dialogues about 40 dialogues, and these dialogues discuss on issues that impact onto the resource, water and environment resources and climate change. And these ones are not just meaning that it is me, person who's in the policy, that is going to dialogue. We have a variety of people, a variety of people who are knowledgeable in resources. We discuss about financing, we discuss about private sector involvement, we discuss about several things that you knowing very well that environment and water impact on each and every sector. And those have created us a platform where we can listen to others, and this listening from others comes out outcomes. These outcomes were implemented to make sure we serve the people and we make sure that we protect the resource ecosystem for the betterment of Ugandans. We've done the work, I would say maybe 2,000 plus work, and this work keeps on raising awareness among the communities, because they work, they meet communities, they meet schools, they meet local communities, they meet the local government, and through this work you'll be able to raise the issues. People, communities raise issues that affect them, and when they raise issues that affect them, they come back to the ministry. How do we address these issues? If there is scarcity of water, if there is flood, if there is a ecosystem encroachment, these issues are raised as these works are taking place, and we capture them, we record them as the outputs, and we come out with action plan to implement those issues that have been raised by communities along the walk. We also have other youth. We've involved youth to be able to be innovative. You know, youth are very innovative. The youth come in with ideas through hackathon, through youth debate, through career talk. Now we are having Miss Climate Change going on, and we are bringing the youth and involving the youth to come to be the future managers of the water and environmental resources. There are so many activities that we've gained, and the impact, we are seeing it. Because if we now go around, people know what Ministry of Water and Environment does. They no longer confuse us as national water, because people always take national water. No, we are Ministry of Water and Environment. We have a mandate, we have our policies, and everybody now knows what we are.
Now, for the Uganda Kingdom, how, since this partnership with the Ministry of Water and Environment, what is there to take home? What have you achieved? Of what impact has it been?
Okay, I'm going to concentrate on the concept of Uganda Water and Environment Week, where we come in mainly on community awareness as the Kingdom of Uganda. Just like she has mentioned, when it comes to information dissemination, the Ministry of Water and Environment has policies, they come up with strategies, they have the framework. But this has to go down to the people so that they understand it. And that's where we come in as cultural institutions and other institutions that work on the ground, on the grassroots mainly. So looking at these themes, we carry this message back to the people and tell them about the different ways they can use this water, the different ways they can take care of the different water sources around, be it wetlands, underground wells, the springs and everything else, like boreholes that are made. How can they use them sustainably? And additionally, we get to hear from them. When we get to hear from them, we pick this information, and then through our partnership, we inform the ministry. This helps them align with the work that they are doing according to the different needs of the different areas within the kingdom. And then, of course, they also use this to ensure that there is proper communication for people to understand. But even besides that, when you look at the different water resources that we have within the Uganda Kingdom, be it the rivers, be it the wetlands, the ministry has really worked close with us to ensure restoration. You notice that if you're going to do cleanup exercises, bulungi wansi, because this is part of the activities that we do, we stand with the ministry, and the Kingdom of Uganda has a strategic plan. In this strategic plan, now environment and water resources are key. They are one of the objectives that we have to fulfill, but like I mentioned earlier, we cannot do everything alone, so we come hand in hand with the ministry and other partners in the same department of water and environment, and then we tend to realize tangible impacts.
Well, we are still looking at the Water and Environment Week 2026. This is going to be the 9th of its kind. And coming back to the ministry, how special is this year's Water and Environment Week from the previous ones that we've been having?
Thank
or
you.
How different?
Thank you, moderator. Yeah, earlier I told you that we always craft the theme and the sub-themes to address the emerging, to address what is existing, either globally, nationally, or regionally. So this year, the Water and Environment Week is aligned to Africa Agenda 2063. It's aligned to the Ugandan 10 Growth Forward strategy, 10 Growth Forward, and the ATMs. If we talk of the ATMs, which look at agriculture, science, innovation, technology, tourism, and that's why we are aligning our discussion for this 9th year to make sure that we address the emerging issues, to address what is really important at this particular moment. So this year, what is different from the other year? This year, I would say we just involved also the climate change. We have to raise awareness about the climate action, because as you say, today it has rained, but when you step outside here, every road is flooded. And what do? We need to make sure we address such cases of flooding. If we flood, it means people are standing on the road, and that's a lot of loss of the time, and time is money. So meaning that the economy is being impacted on because people are not going to their offices to work. So we really look at those issues. And this is how we are bringing in the young one to understand what climate change is. We need to bring another one, people to do action. Action does not mean that it's the Ministry of Water and Environment that's going to take action to address climate issues. It is a collective effort. It is a collective, everybody need to come in and say, hey, here's my home. Can I plant a tree in my compound instead of putting a paver? Can I plant grass in my compound instead of putting a paver? Because when a paved ground is like this and it rains, the surface runoff has nowhere to stop. The water has nowhere to okulegama, let me say in Uganda. So in that process, it just flows. That's why we're having flash floods. So by bringing together the people, by communicating with the people, by bringing them together to discuss and understand where they can participate, where they can contribute to address the issues of climate change, to address issues of environmental aspects like ecosystem encroachment, by saying if I cut the wetland, it means they won't be having a recharge in the groundwater resources. So the runoff, by cutting the wetland, I will be able to allow the runoff to go without being treated, knowing that the ecosystems are very, very influential in management of the water and pollution and everything, and cleaning and recharging of the water resources. So people appreciate. Say, oh, as me, as Gwendolyn, I can easily do this one, and when I contribute this one, it means I'm contributing for sustainable management, sustainable development, and utilization of the resource for me, for my grandchildren and great-grandchildren, so that the country remains stable, economically stable, because knowing that water and environment impact on each and every sector. Almost water is what I call it, a low product for almost every sector. If you come to beer, you can't do without water. Maybe 93% is water. You come to your own health, your own body, it is full of water. So we make sure that people have access to clean, safe water, and it's supposed to be of good quantity. We are not only looking at quality, because if it is not enough, if you can't have water to wash your body, if you can't have water to wash your utensils, you can also be sick. That's what they call water-related diseases, because there is lack of quantity and quality of water. Even if you have too much water, you say Lake Victoria is abundant, but if Lake Victoria is polluted, the impact of pollution will come to your table. Let me give you an example, because if I'm treating a water which is clean, I will not use so much money to treat that water to come onto your table. But if that water is dirty, it means I will pump in so much money to clean that water, so that when you open your tap in your compound, when you open the tap in your kitchen, it has good quality tap water. And that means the cost, if I incur the cost in treating that water to come to your table, the cost you are the one who's going to pay me back. That's how the business is, or that's all. What is it? So by keeping the clean water, by protecting our environment, by protecting our water resources, we are also increasing on our income. We're increasing on our saving in our home, what they call income, household income generation. So if I save 100, it means I've saved 100 on water, and I've protected the resource, so that even my children won't spend so much money to have the resource in their compound.
Well, very explained, and I liked when you pointed out the issue of pavers, that water has no runway. At the end of the day, there's nothing to absorb this water, and we have so many floods. And very funny when it comes to issues of water and environment. That's one thing that is unique about them. Even those that you think know actually act like they don't know. I don't know if it's deliberate or not. I'll give you an example, my guest this morning. Everyone who gets serious money wants to build on top of a hill, to have the view of the city. You know, when you at my home, I can see the entire Kampala. But they are removing the plant cover. If I use Uganda, and then so typically. But when you find out I'm a professor at this institute, I'm a commissioner, I'm a journalist, I'm what? Knowledgeable people.
Yeah.
When you got people who are building on the lake shores, away from the poor who come there because they lack where to go. That's how I want the lake view. And you look at the rich and you're like, for sure, this one must be knowing. Either they choose not to know, or actually knowledge is not for everybody. And at that, I'll go for a break.
Common sense.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Peak of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Exercise can't be sustained. Eating can't be stopped. It's even harder to lose weight. Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules. Plant extract, scientific ratio. Take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning. Eat twice a day. Don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Are you looking for a home away from home? Then this is the place for you. My name is Chini Kaji, and welcome to Hotel Le Confidential.
With 84 comfortable rooms where you can relax and feel safe. Each room has a lovely view of green vegetation, Wi-Fi, air conditioning, and a tasty breakfast.
Children can have fun at our kids' water park and our kids' play area. You can also enjoy our world-class health club, spa, sauna, gym, boutique, and sky blue swimming pool.
Thank you for choosing Hotel Le Confidential, where every stay is unforgettable. Come and stay in comfort, right at home, today, tomorrow, and always.
live from UBC Studios in Kampala. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Welcome back from that break, and my thanks for being with us on UBC TV. It is The Extra, and I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyitono. Now, with me on set, I have two ladies, one from the Kingdom of Uganda and an official from the Ministry of Water and Environment, to be more specific. She is the coordinator of the Water Resources Institute at the Ministry of Water and Environment, and that is she has a very beautiful name, actually. Gwendolyn. Hope I pronounced it right.
Gwendolyn, thank you.
I've just enjoyed this name. And also I have Muchara Galiwango with me on set. Now, these are the two ladies I have, and let's go straight to the Kingdom of Uganda. Now, I'm interested to know, when it comes to water or the water collection chain, what is the Kingdom of Uganda doing about this?
Okay, first of all, as the kingdom, we want people to be able to have enough water, clean, sufficient water. How we say it is amazzi amayonjo atenga gamala. Because there is having some water, but then it's not enough. Or probably having water, but then it is not clean. And in that, we always share out information for people to understand that it's important where you fetch the water. We've seen people that go to very dirty places below certain buildings, arcades. There are videos of people collecting water, and then you find that they will use that water to clean up the fruits that they sell alongside the roads. So where do you get the water from? Is it a clean source? Is it contaminated? Some water sources are highly contaminated. And it has always been a culture in Buganda whereby in a home, an ideal home that we call amaka malungi, akala amatendo, amaka malungi, it should have a toilet, a very good toilet, whether it's a ventilated latrine, whatever you can afford, but it should be at a given distance from your house. And then when you get the water, where do you keep it? The containers that you have used to have pots, but now they are water tanks. Some people store the water underground, they collect it, and then we encourage water harvesting, rainwater harvesting, because this water is readily available to us from God. If you have that water, don't let it run. Ms. Gwendolyn has been talking about the pavers where we let the water run. So do you collect the water that comes to you? And then how do you store it to make sure that it's not contaminated? Then when it's time for consumption, water can be used for agriculture, with animal keeping, planting, irrigation. But then if you're going to use it at home, even the way you serve, it could be in a good container, but then the cup you're using to give your child is dirty. Then at the end of the day, you're contaminating the water. So as the Kingdom of Uganda, we follow the entire chain and then explain to the people through our Ministry of Health that we have in the Kingdom, and then other partners. This is what we advocate for. And then at the end of the day, if you've managed to get water from a well, how do you ensure that you will have it tomorrow and the other day? Are you going to come and plant carituns next to a well so that the eucalyptus is going to drain the entire water source? Are you going to just let the water run off, or you're going to give it room so that it is reabsorbed into the ground and refill the aquifers? There is, of course, a lot of science. When we pick this information from the Ministry of Water, it is generic, but then it is our responsibility to disseminate it. First of all, we simplify it in a language that people understand, and then make sure that it is also simpler, well explained. So the Kingdom of Uganda has a very effective structure from the counties, which are the Masaza, the sub-counties, Magombolola, the parishes, Miruka, Ebyalo, Batongole. So at every level, we have representation from different ministries, and our Ministry of Environment is also highly represented with the executive and councils. This is how we disseminate this information. And of course, with the help of our partners, we build the capacity of the people that carry this information. Because the Katikiro has always passed on a message for conserving the environment, proper use of natural resources, and especially water. So when we get this message from the Katikiro, from Kabaka, and then we have to carry it on, we use this system. But however, the ministry has really built our capacity. Because like she mentioned, the Water Resources Institute, this is what they do to make sure that those that have some skills or have a degree or have some knowledge can be enriched with more information when it comes to water resources, and we get that through our partnership. So we carry that information to the people, but also hear from them what they think. What are their needs? If there is need for water, the areas of Rakai that have issues of water, then we come back through our partnership and then seek support to make sure that there is water supply or projects that could be possible to make sure that region by region or locally, people can be able to have some water. Yes.
Well, now that brings me to the Water Resources Institute that Mrs. Galiwango has just talked about. What does it do?
Thank you, moderator. I would say Water Resources Institute is the arm of the Ministry of Water and Environment that builds capacity, that reaches outreach, that does dialoguing, and also research. And as I would say, the Water Resources Institute is as old as the Uganda Water and Environment Week. So the institute, that meaning the institute was launched in 2018, and we have got 4 focus areas. We look at applied research, look at applied training, look at outreach and dialoguing. Those are our 4 focus areas. And the Water Resources Institute is coming here to bridge the theory and practice. Because we all go to school, we learn how many years, or others those go to school, but what we learn at school, we need to put it into practice. And knowing very well, all of us know that maybe like 80% or whatever, 70% of what we learn is almost theory. I mean, you may come here and I say, how does the borehole look like? You have finished university, you are a hydrogeologist, but you've never seen even how to pump a borehole. So when the Water Resources comes in to expose you on how the borehole looks like, how to do the siting of the borehole, how to do the water levels measurements, we are just bridging theory and practice. We do it through applied training. That's why it is called applied training. Then we do applied research. This applied research is not we do it ourselves. We do it with partners. We partner with universities, we partner with academia, we partner with NGOs, we partner with people in practice to do informed research, targeted research. I always talk about, say, if we are looking at this flood that's happening today, we need to do research and understand where is the cause of this flood. How can we address this flood so that the people downtown don't complain? So that's what I mean, we do targeted research. And this research, we do it in order to inform the policy, in order to inform decision making. And any person who wants to make a decision, you want to do scientific evidence. You need to have a scientific evidence. If I'm going to say, hey, the pavers are the one causing this, do I have a scientific evidence that because we've paved too many of the city, so the water just runs off like that, increasing the runoff surface? I need to be having that evidence so that the decision makers know I'm doing it because I have this scientific evidence. That's what they call applied research. Then outreach, one of the major outreach in the Water Resources Institute is the Water and Environment Week. And we do partners. Even partnership is a part of outreach to reach other partners, private sector. Recently, we've signed a memorandum of understanding with Uganda Bankers Association. So they need to understand how can they invest in water and environment sector. How can they invest in wash? Because it is like, I think the bankers will say, that is a very risky or sensitive area to invest in. But we want to bring them on board to understand that, yeah, you can invest in sanitation. You can invest in people having good sanitation and hygiene aspects. And that, in that case, when they're not sick, they become more productive. So we have a partnership with Uganda Kingdom. Not so many people have gone into the cultural institutions, but we, the Ministry of Water and Environment, through the Water Resources Institute, we've spread our wings. We have partnership with UGCC, Uganda Christian Joint Society. For the local, for culture institutions, we have memorandum to Kingdom, we have go to Renzuru Kingdom, and we are now into Bunyoro Kingdom and also Soga, so that we know that these are the people on grassroots. And this is through outreach, through partnership. Dialoguing, I already talked about dialogue, so that we discuss with other people to tell us what can we do to improve on the service delivery of the water and environment to the communities. And we've trained so many people. We've trained about 4,000 people plus. And this training is not only for Ugandans. We trained people from across the continent. We have a Pan-African training that goes on around that looking at transboundary water laws and transboundary water, what I call it hydro diplomacy, training with people to understand. And this one means that you knowing very well that Uganda's water, maybe like Victoria, River Nile, we are just transboundary water. We are upstream and downstream. So that's why you need to understand the laws and regulations and policies that affect the water resources in a transboundary aspect. We've also have what they call a mentorship program. You see, unfortunately, some of us grew up without mentorship, but the young ones are at advantage this time. We do a mentorship program. We mentor ladies and men to how to communicate, how to stand for public office, how to negotiate for yourself and others. And this one has brought out encouragement and building confidence, leadership skills. We've trained about more than 260 men and gentlemen, ladies and men. We have an internship program that we get fresh graduates and we attach them to a partner organization to bridge that gap again of theory and practice, to give them a chance to understand how to work and how to do his work, supervision, training for 12 months. We've done several times. We have hackathon. I told you about hackathon. We also do that. Youth engagement, even media engagement, to make sure we bring everybody into water and environment sector. And we are continuing to build the Water Resources Institute to make sure it becomes a center of excellence.
So much work is being done there by the Water Resources Institute. Now, coming back to the kingdom, when you talk about water and environment, I'm so interested in water because the environment, much as it's there, we need to preserve it. But water, people interact daily. Now, how big is the water scarcity problem in Uganda Kingdom? And what is being done by the kingdom?
Well, thank you, moderator. I might say we still have areas. You notice in my conversation I've mentioned Rakai, I've mentioned Kalungu, mostly those areas where National Water and Sewage Corporation is not directly available, so they have to rely on other water sources, maybe for pumping, boreholes, that rely on underground water sources mainly. There's still some shortage there. However, even with this challenge, as the kingdom, first of all, we have held trainings. We have an MOU with Community Integrated Development Initiative, CD, and we also have an MOU with Wells of Life. They have done a tremendous job in ensuring that people make use of the underground water, at least that is available most of the areas, and not just relying on these water resources that we have all around. And on top of that, these trainings help them understand how to utilize the available water resources that they have. Yes, you might not have sufficient water, but if you know how to sustainably use the available water, it can take you some time and realize that you can go ahead and irrigate and then also use it domestically. And additionally, when I speak about irrigation, we've also ventured in that. You know, Uganda has a Ministry of Agriculture. We also have an agency there, Bukadef, where there is Mwanyi Tedimba. I think you've heard about that. And through partnerships like with Akevo International Limited, we have brought closer these technologies that can help people utilize the available water resources, do irrigation, and ensure that economically they are empowered and they can be able to carry on with their lives continuously. Yes, but of course we still call on to more partnerships for people that can come in, organizations that can come in and help us further enrich the water availability within the Kingdom of Uganda, and even for these innovations, the different technologies that they can use. We are really advocating for use of renewable energy. These technologies, these solar water irrigators, we are bringing them to go to closer to people at a discount through the different partnerships so that they can afford them. So when it comes to such, we could have a lot of innovations that are good and efficient, but if people cannot afford them, then it's a problem. And if they can afford them, but they don't have after-sale services, that if it breaks down, they cannot be able to get maybe the solar batteries, they can't be able to get this worked upon, then it's a problem. And in that same aspect, we are opening up Semaduka. It's called Semaduka. We are trying to bring these services closer to people, mainly to help them use these technologies and access water. So we are bringing them closer to people through our different counties. So far we are starting in Singo, all in efforts to ensure that people get water. But we're also advocating highly for harvesting water. I've mentioned that earlier, rainwater harvesting in different ways. So we go in there with the technicals like from the Ministry of Water and Environment, and then teach them how to use the materials that they have, affordable and available materials, to ensure that they can store water and then also use it effectively. Yes, and of course the kingdom takes this very serious in that we have Ministry of Water, the Kingdom of Uganda, headed by Owechitiwa Mariam Mayanja and Kalubo. She's the Minister of Water and Environment. So there is a governing structure to ensure that water is prioritized in all the programs that we do and our strategic plan as the kingdom.
And that said, well, we have come to the end of the show, but I'll just give each of my guests a minute or two for their final remark, and I'll begin with the coordinator of the institute that we've just been talking about. Your parting shot in relation to the Water and Environment Week. When is the climax? Because you've talked about so many events that have been prior to the climax.
Thank you for hosting us, and we want to appreciate UBC for giving us an opportunity to come and sit here and inform the communities, discuss with communities on issues of water and environment. The Uganda Water and Environment Week, the 9th one, the major one, which is going to be a national event, is starting next week on Monday, that is 23rd March, and it's going up to 27th March. But as you said, there's a post event which is having also a Nile run that is looking at how to protect the water, the Lake Victoria, especially from plastic pollution. It's going to be on 28th. Then we shall have a post event also of Uganda Kingdom that's happening on 31st March. But I'm inviting everybody to come and participate in this event. It is open. It's going to be held at the Ministry of Water and Environment, Ruzila. Those of you in Kampala, it is not far away. It's about 2,000 shillings to come to Luzira. And we are going also to have a cleanup exercise tomorrow. That's a national cleanup exercise to clean within our environment, to clean within our environs. And we do to promote people to manage waste, to manage solid waste, to manage the drainages through our partners, the Nakawa division. So we're going to be in Nakawa division to the cleanup exercise. Otherwise, all of you are invited to participate in the Uganda Water and Environment Week. If you miss this year, don't miss next year. If you miss the national, don't miss the regionals. They're still ongoing. This whole week, the regional activities are ongoing. If you are in Kampala, if you are in Balala, if you are in Fort Portal, if you are in Lila, if you are in Mbale, these activities are still ongoing. Be part of the Uganda Water and Environment Week, be part of the Ministry of Water and Environment, be part of the water and environment sector. Thank you.
Well, and finally, Muchala Galiwango, as we move out of here.
So I'll just add a voice to what Ms. Gwendolyn has talked about. Please come in and participate in Uganda Water and Environment Week. Join us in Bujumba, Gombolora Bujumba, Sese, Musaza Sese for the Uganda Water Day. And of course, I would like to add, allow me using Uganda so that I communicate. Yagala kuongereza ku ddoboozi lya Katikkiro Kamalabyonna awamu ne Ssaabasajja omulanga gw'okukuuma obutonde bw'ensi n'amazzi. Mujje tulabe ensonga zino, abaana, abavubuka, abakyala tukwataganye tutya osobola okulaba nti tukuuma ebifo omusangibwa amazzi ate ne tugakozesa obulungi. Thank you so much for hosting us, moderator. Ssaabasajja Kabaka awangaale.
Awangaale Masomoji. See you tomorrow, God willing.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby dondolo. You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondolo. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*21# and select daily or use the